It's Miss Ginny from the Rotary Children's Library, and I'm bringing you your Crafting with Ginny at 3:30 for December 15th. Anyway, today we are going to be making a Santa and reindeer, Santa sleigh and reindeer. So this takes a little bit of time, but it's not too complicated. And you can find all the instructions on our website at DraytonValleyLibrary.ca under programs. If you look through it, there's templates and really good instructions with pictures showing you exactly how to do everything. So the templates are near the back. And you will see some reindeer templates. You will see some Santa templates. And you can color them yourself, or you can use the colored ones, print them off, and use those ones. All right, so let's get started. Just going to move a few things out of my way. So for supplies, you're going to need a box of some sort. Now, this is a shoebox I used. You don't have to have one this long. If you don't want, it can be shorter. Any box will do as long as it has kind of a nice frame. So this particular shoebox is a nice one. So I just cut off the lid part here so that I just had the bottom part. And the other thing you'll want is some stiff cardboard of some sort, just because you're going to need it for making the tabs to help Santa stand up. And you'll probably want a little bit of blue or whatever color you want to use for the stands for the reindeer cardstock. And I used cardstock on the back of my reindeer. When I cut them out, you can print them off on your cardstock. That would be the best idea because you want them to be kind of stiff. So brown cardstock of any color, brown that you want. And you'll want a paint tray with a paintbrush. And I use some glitter paint. Now, if you don't have any of that, you can use just glitter. I use gold glitter and some glitter paint, but you can just put on glue and gold glitter if you have that. You'll want some acrylic red paint because you're going to paint your sleigh red. Now, if you want to paint it brown, you're welcome to do that too. It's up to you. So I had a bit of glitter that I kept nearby too. You'll want some glue, some white glue. You might use that, and a glue stick. You might use that. And a bit of string for the reins that you're going to have connected to your sleigh. You'll want 4 straws. 2 are going to be the length that they are, four drinking straws, and the other 2 I have cut. So these are for the bottom of the sleigh. So the other 2 I've already pre-cut them. You may want a pencil for tracing out. And of course, I'm going to use a hot glue gun today. Remember, if you use a hot glue gun, so I'm going to use mine. Have your glue sticks handy. You may want a hole punch as well. And of course, you'll print off your template. So I printed off my Santa. And I just put him on some red cardstock on the back so that he's a little stiffer. And I also printed off my reindeer, my 4 reindeer, and I put them on the back on the brown cardstock. So I just printed off the colored reindeer and cut them out. I also pre-cut my when we get to where we stand the reindeer up, you want to pre-cut 4 strips of the light blue or whatever color you use of cardstock for putting your reindeer on. So these are the stands that they're going to be on. And you'll want them to be about a 1/2 inch wide and about as long as the width of your sleigh. Now, the other thing you might want is you might want to paint some cardboard to make a seat on the inside. You don't have to have a seat on the inside. It's up to you. So let's get started. And you'll need a pair of scissors, of course. And you will need a black Sharpie pen. So the first thing that I did is I have pre-done my sleigh I have pre-cut it. And like I said, you will see in your instructions how to draw that onto your box. So I drew black lines onto my box to make it shaped like this. Now, the reason that I've already done it because it takes a long time to dry. So I wanted to make sure that I could do that for this video. So I'll just show you the box that they have in the picture. So you get any ordinary box that's square. And then you want to just make lines on both sides of your sleigh so that they're even with your black marker. So you'll do that onto the box. And then you'll cut that out, just where that is. Cut that part of the cardboard out. So you can see in this picture, they have drawn the lines on here with the black marker. And you do it on both sides, so you have the right even curve. And don't worry, it doesn't have to be perfect, just do your own curve. Then you cut it out. So once it's cut out, that's your sleigh. So then you're going to, if you have any tabs that are sticking down, they suggest that you glue them down. I didn't have any sticking down on mine, so I didn't have to glue them down. So then the next thing you're going to want to do, like I said, if you want to put a seat in it, you can cut out a seat and just bend it on the ends and paint it as well. If you want to put that into your sled, you don't have to. You don't have to have a seat if you don't want. You can see this one has a seat in it, but you don't have to have that in if you don't want. Then you're going to paint everything red. So once you've got that painted, you're going to paint that with red acrylic paint. Then you're also, what I did, it doesn't say this next in the instruction, but I thought it was just easier since I was painting. I used my gold glitter paint and I put that to design the outside there on either side. It looks quite nice for the sleigh. So now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your box that's dried and is painted, and you're going to use your straws. So you're going to turn your box over. I'll just turn the computer down so you can see. So this is my sleigh. I've turned my box over. So you want to have, now my straws aren't quite long enough. If you had longer straws, you would want them, that's why you maybe want to use a little shorter box than what I've used. But you want them to come to just stick out on the ends a little bit. So I kept mine like that, and I'm going to glue them on, the two long ones. And then I measured across and I cut to the length across the width so that they're a little bit shorter. So I have two shorter straws and two longer ones. So I'm going to glue on the two longer ones right now, just onto the box. That's the bottom of the box because that's the runners of your sleigh, or what we call the blades. Just like on skates, these are like a blade. So you just glue them on either side, the two long ones. And again, if you're using a hot glue gun, that works the best, but adult supervision, because you don't want to burn yourself. So now I've glued those two on. So now I'm going to glue these across, and I'm going to just separate them like this so that they're about halfway, kind of evened out. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on my other long straws, and I'm going to attach these shorter ones to the tops of them. So I'll do the same on this side so it's kind of evened out. And I'm going to attach that there. So you can see that's the bottom of your box. So now your sleigh will sit nicely. All right, so once you have that done, then you can, let me just get my sheet out here. Like I said, the next step they suggest in your instructions is you decorate the sides, but I did that before because I used paint. If you want to use ribbon or anything like that, you're welcome to use ribbon. So now we're going to do the paper reindeer. Now, you print off the template, either colored ones, or you can print off the plain ones and color them in yourself, or you can print them off on cardstock. What I did was I printed off the paper ones and just glued them to the cardstock and then cut them out, because you want them to be a little bit stiff, and cardstock is stiffer. So you will have 4 reindeer that you have cut out. Or you can draw your own reindeer too. That's totally up to you. So now you're going to need, as however many reindeer you make, I made 4, you're going to need 4 strips. So I used that blue cardstock and I measured them just so that they were about the same. You want them to be about the same width as the sleigh. So you'll need 4 of those. So, and they're about a 1/2 inch wide, those strips. And then you're going to cut a pair of short slits on either end of them. So just at the very end, you're not going to cut it all the way up, you're just going to make in a bit, cut some slits. So just a slit on that end, and then you're going to do the same on the other end. Now that's so we can connect our reindeer to it. I'm just going to move my sled aside here. And so then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to want to join the reindeer by pairs using the 2 paper stands. And so you have to put slits in your reindeer where their feet are. So let's see. On our reindeer, we are going to put, you can see where there's kind of some little white there. I'm just putting some slits with my scissors on all the reindeer. You can go ahead and do that. Just go up a little bit. You don't have to go very far. And don't cut the legs off of the reindeer. So it's kind of like how the paper dolls were, where you stick them into a piece of cardboard or a stand and then they stand up. So you can see I have slits in my reindeer right there on their legs. So now I'm going to connect them to the slits on the blue. I'm going to take 2 reindeer and I'm going to connect them to the slits on the blue stands, because you want them to be apart. I'm going to fit them into those slits on the blue stands. Rudolph, of course, I'm going to put, he has the red nose, so we're going to put him near the front. So you just put it into their front legs, and then the second one goes into their hind legs. That means their back legs when you say hind. And I'm just trying to slip it in there. So you can see that they're attached that way. Now the other ones that you're going to attach, of course you have the other 2 reindeer. So now you're going to attach them, just get my notes here. So it shows you clearly in the pictures what to do with when you're attaching. And of course, you want them to be lined up. You want them to be lined up like this. So let's attach the two front legs. So these are the guys that are going to go in the front. Like that. Okay. Just turn them a little bit here like this, so they're facing this way. So you can see Rudolph and the other one are right there. So then you're going to do the same with the other reindeer. Put them on so that they're facing the right way. Front and back. Okay, let's just. So one stand interlocks with the pairs with the slits on both reindeer's front legs, and the other stand interlocks with the slits on the hind legs. So now these ones you're going to put the hind legs in, or what we call the back legs. All right. So now we have our reindeer. I'll just turn them the right way here. Make sure you turn them the right way so they're all facing the same way. And I'm not going to have a bench in mind, but you can if you want in the sleigh. So let's just get our sleigh there. And now for our reindeer, what we're going to do is we're going to, let's just turn those right here. Make sure you put your hind legs in because you have all 4 slits. So make sure you put the hind legs in for all of them because you want your hind legs to be in there too, your back legs. So your reindeer look like this. They'll have 2 strips and they stand like that. And then make sure you have some in the front for the other reindeer. Same thing. Going to do the same procedure with your strips, your blue strips, so that they're standing up. And you just have to push them down into the slits. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to take my sleigh or my reindeer, and I am going to attach some string to them. But before I do that, I want to hole punch a couple of holes in the front of my sleigh. Now, if you don't want to punch holes in, you're going to need a long string. So I'm using some jute. You can use yarn or whatever kind of string you have. I just got to get mine untangled here. There we go. So before you do that, if you want to, you can punch a hole, 2 holes in the front of the sleigh with a hole punch. So we're lining up our reindeer here. And then you can punch 2 holes, so one on either side, so they're kind of even. And just about almost halfway down, and it's kind of hard. So if I'm making a face, it's because I got to press hard on the cardboard. Okay, and then I'm going to make another hole on the other side, so it's even. There, so you have 2 holes, and now you can tie some string in there. What I would do first is attach the string to the back with some tape of each reindeer. So you're going to take the string and you're going to run it between the reindeer and the sleigh. So just get some long string for either side. And I'm just going to cut some string that I think will be long enough. And if it's too long, I can always shorten it. Okay. So now what you want to do, and I'll just put this down so you can see what I'm doing. Move that out of the way. So what I want to do now is I want to, and my reindeer are pretty small, but you can make your reindeer bigger if you want. I just had them pretty small. So now I'm going to take the one side, one string, and I'm going to just tape it onto the outside reindeer. So that's where you'll want your tape, to the back of the reindeer. So I'm going to put some tape on there to hold the string in place. And then I'm going to put some tape, because I want it to be, it can be loose. It doesn't have to be really tight, because, you know, you don't want the reindeer to look like they're, you know, it's being held too tight. But you'll just put them apart a little bit. Put some tape on the back. You don't need very much tape. So we're lining them up. I'm going to shorten the line a little bit. Put a bit of tape on the back of my reindeer. So I've just put tape on the back, and I'm going to do the same on the other side with the other string, because I have 2 pieces of string. And I'll just put it on the back of my reindeer with a piece of tape just to hold it in place. And then onto the next one so that they're connected. And make sure you make them this equal distance. So I'm going to get a little piece of tape. Let's make sure it's equal distance here with the reindeer. So now they're connected. So now you can take your string and you can put it through the sleigh. Now I have an extra long piece of string here, which I will be shortening it. Let's just fix that one a little bit. I don't want it to be so hanging so low. There. There's some string. So the other thing you're going to want is you're going to want your Santa. So both sides I can put through the hole, and I will tie a knot in them in a minute, but I am going to leave enough for Santa to be hanging on to the ends of the reins, because that's the reins of the reindeer. So I'm going to just cut it right there so it's not so long. And I'll do the same on the other side, give it a little bit so I can tie a knot in it. So I'm going to bring it through and just tie a knot in. You can tie it right onto the sleigh and leave some string for Santa to have to hang on to. And we'll do the same on the other side, so it's kind of evened out here. Tie a knot in it and leave some string on the end so that Santa has some that you can tape to Santa's hands. I just do a double knot to tie it to the sleigh. Oops, a sec here. Let's just make that one a little bit better. So there, Santa has some reins to hang on to. Now what you can do is you can take your Santa, so you're going to need some more cardboard because you're going to need to glue these on the inside of the sleigh so that Santa can stand up properly. So what you'll want to do is you want to have Santa standing in the bottom there. And so in one of the corners, you can put this here, just glue it on. I'm going to use my hot glue gun again. So this is kind of what we call a Z shape. And it's just more or less so that it's a stand for Santa. Now, Santa's going to be right here. So you want to center him so that he's able to hang on to the strings and he's kind of in the center. If you want him up a little bit higher, you wouldn't have to make a stand. You could just glue him on the inside of the sleigh. And you know what? I'm thinking I might even do that. You can glue him on or tape him on to the inside of the sleigh without making a stand. That works too. So you have Santa up there. You have your reindeer. Like I said, you can make your reindeer bigger. And then what you can do is you can tape or you can hole punch if you feel brave, or take a pencil and just put little holes in his mittens. And I'm going to take the end of a pencil and put little holes in the end of his mittens there, because he's going to be holding on to the reins. And then I'm just going to loop those through. And you can either tie them on at the back, those strings, or you can just tape them to the back of your Santa. So there you have. And then you can fill your sleigh up with all kinds of fake presents or real presents, and not real presents, but put some make-believe presents in there. I'll just show you what it looks like from the finished. We'll just get our reindeer facing right, and so you can see. So there is Santa and his reindeer. And there's your beautiful sleigh. So I hope you had fun making that. And we'll see you again next time. Bye for now.